Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Leeds TV with the Dream Team, Joe and Conor, here to review the sweaty, the nerve-wracking Barnsley game. And Joe did a grand job last night on the watch-along. Unfortunately, I couldn't properly join, but nearly 3 hours long, the longest watch-along we've done, and nearly on the 20,000 view mark. So thank you, everybody who joined in. And how did you find it, Joe?
I'm haggard. I'm knackered still. No, it was great. Do you know what? Right, afterwards I wanted to do a post match, and I did one. Right, and I seen a bit of it back, and I thought I can't put it out because I just was lethargic, tired. But then on reflection, I'm thinking, well, that was the emotion at the time. Like I was just drained, right? And listening to stuff this morning from other people, and they were the same. And I thought, oh, that's what it was. Because Conor, I felt I'm not doing this justice. We're 1 point away from promotion, and I'm talking about like we were so bad. But on reflection, it was horrible, wasn't it? It was like white knuckle stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a really difficult position to be in, isn't it? Because I eventually did do Tykes TV. They messaged me and they just said, "Do you want to do a quick interview?" And I went, "Yeah, go on then." But I was like you, mate. I just thought, if someone's asking me questions, I'll stick my phone on and I'll answer them. But I just cannot. I don't know. I was drained. I'm so drained at the time. Speaking off air, we're knackered. We need a break. But it's really difficult because we're a point away from promotion, so we can't be too dramatic. But the performance was dreadful, wasn't it?
yeah. Like you could arguably say it's one of the worst under Bielsa. It just wasn't great, man. But we got over the line, and like we said about Swansea, we don't win that. We definitely don't win yesterday's. Any other previous season, you said it when you came on the live stream. You've never seen a Leeds team do this. Do you know what I mean? So it really is. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, I think any other season. We bottled last night. I think Barnsley win 2-1, and I also think Swansea. Swansea go the other end and score, don't they? In any other season, like affiliated with Leeds. But listen, mate, I think we're getting a few comments here. A lot of people saying we were dreadful. I guess it was one of them where we could afford to be dreadful in a sense because we've been so impeccable for I'd probably say, how many games have we played, mate? 44. I'd say for about 42 of them, we've been absolutely brilliant. I'd probably say Forest away were pretty crap. But aside from that, I think we've been brilliant. So, and also a lot of people have got to turn around and like Leeds United have just said here, you've got to say fair play to Barnsley. It's absolutely stunning that a team like that is bottom of the table, isn't it?
Crazy. I've heard it said in the first game they were one of the better teams we've played, and it was the same with this one. That second half especially eclipses any team really that have come up against us for me. They were better than Fulham. They were better than Fulham in that first half, coming back from the restart. The only thing missing was goals, and that's where I guess they've lacked since the restart. But for me, they proper put us under the cosh, mate. How... Not even a point. How they didn't win the game is mental. I feel a bit sorry for them, if I'm being totally honest, because they must be absolutely on the floor. Does it give them hope, these last two? I still think it's too much, isn't it? It's too much, Forest and Brentford. But yeah, mate, they deserve the win. Arguably the best performance against the Bielsa side. So many chances, and I was impressed with a few individuals as well. I thought Mowat played well. The kid Styles, was it, mate? The centre back as well, Anderson. There was a number of decent performances in there.
Yeah. And like you say, I think a lot of players are going to be up for it against Leeds. As I came on the stream last night, you saw Mowat in the referee's ear all the time. He was well up for that last night, and you have players like Adore coming on. Halmer. I wonder if he spoke to Alioski in the changing room this time. I don't know, in the tunnel. Sorry, but it was they all stepped it up. And I spoke to my mate last night, who's obviously been on the channel a couple of times, and he said we've not played like that this season. We don't do that often enough, but when we do, we can play like that. But at the end of the day, mate, like Yeah, we won the game and we didn't play well, but I mean, I'd rather be in our position than sort of scrapping away and getting nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's strange to think how are they bottom of the league, but like you say, if they're not doing that in enough games, then that's where the problem lies for Barnsley. You know, I watched the Tanks TV stuff before the game, and yeah, they've a lot of them were calling, you know, for Struber to go, and that I've seen, you know, if he's had enough time.
Really?
Yeah, well, the video that I've seen, you know, saying that they don't think he's had enough games, because I know one of them made the point of saying, I think it might have been Craig, had said that, you know, some fans are saying, oh, well, if he'd have been in from the start, would have been 15th, etc., which is true, right? They've been mid-table, but they just weren't having it, whether or not that's the emotion at the time. But I thought, apart from him looking like an absolute mental raver with his jeans on and that, I thought he's done a good job, Struber. It was just a good performance from Barnsley, mate, and they must be absolutely on the floor. I do think Bielsa and his constant flipping around of positions and players didn't help the situation, though, because I think if you don't make any changes at half time, and I'm not lambasting him for doing so, but I dare say they wouldn't have had such a promising second half. I think we made changes at half time, didn't work. We then had to make changes again. We then brought Harrison off for Struick, and it was like, what's going on? And we were even scratching our heads as to who was playing where. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, mate. I think I don't know what everyone in the comments think as well. There's 237 of you watching, guys. Thank you so much. Please slap a like on the video, and if you aren't subscribed, please make sure you do. We've got streams, watch-alongs, everything coming, including West Bromwich Albion later on today. But with what you say, Joe, I think it is. Yeah, was he panicking a bit? I mean, I've never seen him that agitated. Every time the sky cams went on him, he looked like he was screaming. He was sweating from the brow. And I thought, you know, I mean, let's be right, mate. They had 4 or 5 concrete chances, big chances. Yeah, I think maybe he was a bit unnerved by their sort of, I mean, did he expect it? I don't know. We've not seen like that against Wigan or Luton or whoever they played in the past. But suddenly they bring out a performance like that. So can he really predict a team coming at him like that? I don't know. Yeah, no, you make a good point. I think it was mad because obviously KP's come out, and what a huge loss, because look what it did. It was disjointed. You had Ayling playing the centre of a back three. Then he moved on to the right of it in the second half. By all accounts, Ayling was having a go at Berardi most of the first half because he was out of position. Dallas was on the right and then ended up playing central or to the left, like it was scratch your head kind of stuff. And then when Pascal Struby comes on play, it's like the forgotten man. Yeah, like what's going on? And then for him to not go into centre back and to be this like man, he looked like a WWE wrestler. Like he was huge. Yeah. This man mountain just in front of the back 5 or whatever it was, man. I don't know what it was. Like genuinely, like Bielsa. To be honest, we said that when he first came in. Like there was a lot of talk of these positions and how crazy it can be. And you know, I remember Forest away when we still went attacking and he made loads of changes and we lose that game. But I can't really remember anything since where I've really been like, what's going on, what we're doing here until that. But look, I mean, we won the game, man, which is insane, I think. It's insane that we won that game, you know. It is. Yeah, I agree, man. And obviously the great Carly reference there is just how sort of big he was and now he just sat in front of that back 4 and it just looked, well, back 3, it just looked weird, didn't it? Like, but I sort of Martin LS11 commented here, and he just said they all look sort of knackered, and I think Bamford came out afterwards, and for the first time, really, I mean, they were asking him bring Law, and he just said, "Yeah, we didn't expect that, we did." And then I remember on the preview, a lot of the Barnsley fans were saying, you know, if you underestimate us, that's when we're going to get a result, or that's when we're going to check you a little bit, and you can see why a lot of teams sort of take them lightly because they've not got any standout names really, but I think, wow, yeah, I mean, fair play to them. But what about more on the Leeds performance, Joe? Because obviously we've sort of given Barnsley a little bit of credit there for about 8 to 9 minutes. What do you think? What do you think are the telling tales from that for Leeds? Because obviously, you know, we do need a point. We've not secured it yet, so that obviously me and Joe are very excited, but we haven't secured it yet. We have to wait on West Bromwich Albion tonight, and then potentially Brentford tomorrow, I believe it is, against Stoke. But you know, still got Derby and Charlton to play. So yeah, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, there were tired legs out there, weren't they? Rightly so as well. I mean, they've really gone at it since the restart. I've been really impressed. You know, we were all panicking, weren't we, Cardiff? I know it's not done yet, but look, we've been on quite a run. If you look before the restart, you know, we've been in some absolutely amazing form, mate. You know, you mentioned it about clean sheets, 21 this season. That's more than any other side in the top 4 divisions. You know, they've been absolutely immense at the back, and I thought Cooper was great yesterday. Ben White was great. I thought he did well in that first half in that position. You know, you came on at half time and mentioned just how, you know, his age and stuff. I genuinely feel he's going to grow and probably end up playing that role. It wouldn't surprise me. Do you know what I mean? He probably would. In a top side, you know, you could easily, well, if Liverpool and City and that aren't looking at him, I don't know what's wrong with the scouting systems, because he's genuinely that good, that kid. You know, he is, and he. I think, you know, Paddy did well again. Click was okay, I thought, in the early stages. Really surprised with Pablo. You know, coming on, not having the effect that he normally does. A lot of that's down to Barnsley. You know, someone actually messaged me, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Someone messaged me and asked me what my thoughts were on Pablo when he got took off, and whether or not it showed a little bit of petulance. And I don't think that it couldn't be further from the truth. I thought, yeah, he did look annoyed, but why wouldn't you? You know, he's gone from being hero, God, to then being taken off in the next game. Rightly so, his pride's going to be knocked, but he's a professional footballer, and I didn't think there was much in him getting taken off in terms of how he reacted. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I think it's you want to play every minute of every game, don't you? And he probably thinks he's the man who's having to. Leeds are using him in a certain way right now. We're sort of waiting, and then at half time he's been brought on. And he probably thinks to himself, you know, I can do this from the start. I don't need to be brought on at half time, and he probably finds it a little bit frustrated that, you know, for probably the first time in his career, he's being used as sort of an impact sub, really. But, you know, I think special mentions for me, you know, I was worried about him coming in, but I thought Berardi was excellent when he came in. I thought, you know, I've said it to my old man, I thought he was brilliant. Pass completion was really good, making some key blocks, and I thought he steadied things up. And I didn't think the problems were there. And initially I did think that, you know, I was wrong. I did think if we were going to have a weakness, it potentially would be Berardi, but he's just proven everyone wrong, isn't he? Every time he comes in, he does such a good job.
Yeah, and for me, give him that deal, man. I know as a Leeds fan we're like sentimental, like, so just give him one more year, you know what I mean? But I would like that, even if it's a cheerleader. Listen, it happens. I forget where he heard it the other day. It could have been it was on a podcast, I can't remember, and they said, you know, some people do get kept around just for that. Do you know what I mean? Just because he's a tight knit and he brings the group together and that. I love Berardi, and you're right, mate. He had another sterling performance yesterday.
Yeah, I thought as well. I thought Bamford was brilliant. I thought he was our best player. You know, he was trying to hold things up. Should have scored for me. I think it was a brilliant save, but he should have scored. He might have calmed a lot of nerves. But I thought he led the line really well. He was battling against 3 centre halves, really, wasn't it? And Leeds, for the first time, it was because we couldn't really pass it out from the back, which I've not seen before. And I think that's where all the stress and the substitutions were made from Bielsa. And we kept going long for a little bit of it, didn't we? And Paddy was doing so well to make it stick, really.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot to be said in that. We've seen it quite a bit, if we're being honest, Conor, haven't we, since the restart? So seen it quite a bit of us just going long. Whether or not that's a tactical, whether or not it's just the pressure that we're being put under by opposition. You know, I think with with Barnsley as well, I could have sworn, I think I heard or read that it's the most like shots we've ever faced against the side and stuff in the game. Yeah, which is insane, you know, beating for XG as well, which isn't normally the case for Leeds United. It was interesting to hear Paddy after as well say that he felt he should have scored against Swansea, you know, with a header. Yeah, and it was quite refreshing to hear him be honest, you know, and say, yeah, look, I was annoyed, I should have scored. He'd aim for that target of 20. He still wants to get that, whether or not he'll get it, you know, 4 goals in 2 games. I mean, I hope he does. How great was his interview afterwards and Victor Orta, mate? Like, talk to me about that. That's just unreal. Like, when Victor came in, he got so much stick, but obviously living where I live as well, he wasn't great at Borough. They couldn't stand him because he made a lot of piss poor signings, and he was sent on his way, and they blamed him for a lot of what happened, you know, from the drop down to the Prem and that. So for me, it's even sweeter because I see him now and I'm like tagging my mates, telling my mates, I'm going, are you sure you had this same Victor Orta? You know, like when he's singing, we're top of the league. I'm like, yes, what a man. What a man. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's put it. Victor Orta vid is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I think I tweeted it out. It is absolutely brilliant. You don't really get that from any chairman, sporting director. They just sit in the background, don't they? But he just doesn't. He's like all of us. You know, we're on the stream and naturally we go nuts and you know, you look at yourself afterwards and you think, oh Jesus. I mean, I certainly do. I look at myself and think, oh God. But he just doesn't care. The passion and all the photos. I mean, he was the one at the end of the game as well. One he just clapping and shouting, and he's trying. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to push the players over the line. He's trying to be that 12th man by himself. You know, he's urging the players on and telling them keep going, and that is brilliant. I mean, he sounded like he had a few sherbets, didn't he?
Oh, definitely, man. I showed our last night, right? And I turned and I went, I want to meet him. I want to meet him so bad. I was just one of them there because like I want to meet Bielsa so bad. I do, and I know people might say, but I'm genuinely considering just rocking about in Wetherby just so I can meet him because when he's gone, bro. Do you know what I mean? I just thought I just want to meet him, man. There might be a video, who knows? Searching Bielsa, we might knock something up in the office.
He's in Wetherby, isn't he? So we should be able to find him.
That's what I mean. But I want to meet Victor as well because he gets it, and it'd just be nice to see that embrace because I remember. After Derby last season, and he was in the car park crying after the game, hugging a fan. I remember seeing it, and it would just be so great for Victor as well because of the stick he's got. I think Radrizzani, we owe them that trio of Radrizzani, Kinnear, and Orta. We owe them so much. We
always wax lyrical about Bielsa, and Bielsa is the person who's got us this position. Of course, he is. You know, we all love him. And listen, if he gets us up, I think they should bloody build a statue. Never mind painting a picture of him, which you know, I think he's done so much for his club. But Radrizzani, Kinnear, and obviously your man, what's his called, Orta. Incredible, man! Incredible what they have done for this club. Absolutely insane. You know. Ken Bates, Krasner, GFH, all this absolute dross. We've got an owner who cares. He's not English, he's not from Leeds, he's got no roots in Leeds, he's from Milan, but he cares. And mate, he's been at the club, what is it, 3 years, and he's done this.
I know. It's insane, isn't it? Like, and you know, a lot of it does go to Bielsa, but I mean, he brought Bielsa in, and of course, they're not giving him small cash here, guys. Like I swear his team's on like €6 million or something like that, which is insane. You know what I mean? So you can say, oh well, it's down to Bielsa, etc. But they're putting the money in. Look at the ground. Look how good the ground looks with all the centenary square and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant, man. I love it. It makes you proud again, doesn't it?
Does, mate. And Guillermo Albertini, probably the best name on the chat. I apologise for everybody else. But Conor, is the piss up still on the cards? Radrizzani is watching. Let me know. I'll start rowing from Australia. Thank you, Conor, Jack, Conor, Joe, Jack, Tash, and Oscar for everything you do. No problem, mate. And yeah, obviously, unfortunately, Joe's at work tonight, but obviously we're all supporting Huddersfield and Stoke tomorrow. So I'll have a bottle of champagne here on the watch along, and hopefully we'll be able to do it and celebrate.
You better not, man. You better not do it without me.
You just have to. You got to stay at work. You're ill.
I will. Honestly, if Huddersfield go 1-up early on, I'll go, listen, I'm sick, I'm going home.
I'll do some work from home. But Guillermo, thank you so much for your contribution, mate. Anything you give us, genuinely, we've got a little bit of kit which we've invested in that we'll all be getting soon when we all meet up. Everything you give to us, it doesn't come in our back pockets. We don't take anything. It all goes back into the channel. So be expecting big things soon. So that's just where all your money, if you do donate, even if it's £1 or 20 quid, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it just slightly off air. I tell you what, now I'm going to come to you with this as well, what I've seen. If you remember, we all remember Nottingham Forest and us getting beat and then winning the league. And the interview that Luke Ayling did, where he was absolutely on the floor, looked a beaten man. We've taken 32 from a possible 39 since that result. And I've put in question marks, falling apart.
Yes, and then you look at the ones where we drop points there, mate. If it's 32, it's probably Brentford, Cardiff, and Luton, and they're probably ones that got the other points there. Yeah. And you look at against Luton, we should have put. I know it was a poor performance, but we should have put 3 or 4 past them for me that night. And then you look at Cardiff. You know that one that Bamford blocks on the line for me, that goes in, and it's a different game on our time. And then Forest, do you know what? Fair play. I think down at the 6th round, I think they restricted us, and they did what Forest do, don't they? But everyone's talking about Brentford and 8 games on the trot. Don't get me wrong. 24 points out of 24 points is incredible, and it'll probably never be done again. But for Leeds to get 32 out of 39 points after. I mean, at that point, mate, I think Brentford were 2 points behind us, and everyone's talking about Brentford. I have as well, Brentolona. But at the end of the day, we've kept them at bay.
I think we were 5 off West Brom as well at the time.
That's it, mate. We've kept them at bay, and we've been the form team, and we've been the form team for longer than 8 games, haven't we?
Yeah. But like I said on my video as well, it just don't fit the narrative, does it? And that's why Sky tried to be sly and move us to the last to add the pressure, all that stuff. You can't tell me that's just happened out of the blue. And you've seen that anyway. The fact that Sky switched their game against Swansea at like 2 days' notice, just so they could have that opportunity where Leeds maybe go up or maybe mess it up. It's we're a huge club in the football pyramid, so I get it as well. But it is frustrating as a Leeds fan. By all accounts as well, 87 points is a new record for Leeds United. which is huge. Bielsa has just knocked it out of the park. It's amazing to see, and we've won 3 on the bounce now, sitting pretty. Still 1 point needed though, mate. And what a place it would be to confirm it. Paddy said it yesterday. It's written in the stars.
No, they all know. I'm not having it that they're just trying to, obviously, they're not bothered about Pride Park and all this sort of stuff. Listen, they'll still be hurting from that. I still hurt from that. I've not watched that game back, but they took a year away from us in that Premier League. They did. I think we'd have gone on and beaten Villa in the final, and they took that year off us. And fair play to Derby. They deserved it over the 2 legs, obviously. But we, it'd be so sweet because they cannot stand Leeds. Trashed our changing rooms. Gave it to us, didn't they? And like me and you've said, we were singing the "Stop Crying" Frank Lampard song down there, and they, you give it, you've got to take it, and we took it bloody well. But it would be absolutely sweet to win it there, and I couldn't think of a stadium in the league I'd like to win it more at bar obviously Ellen Road. Yeah, but
100%, mate. If you were to go to Steven Spielberg and ask him to write a script, this would be the perfect.
Amazon. What if they're doing this season 2, which apparently they are?
Yeah.
What a bloody story.
Yeah, you could not pick like this here, for example, right? That the scarf that we were given, right? And that cold, every time I see it, as much as I'm like, yeah, it fucking hurts, man. Listen, for us to have the opportunity to do it, it's poetic justice, mate. I was saying last night on the stream, I wish they could just bring Lampard, Harry Wilson, and that all back just for that one game. Yeah, it's definitely him.
Well, that's it. I think a lot of that team, you got the likes of Max Bird and Louis Sibley and players like that. They didn't really experience it, did they? They've got a lot of kids in that team now. Buchanan as well, Lee Buchanan. They've got a lot of kids, and that nucleus last year. Obviously you had the likes of Wilson, Mason Mount, Samori, Kia. Yeah, we'll bring the boys back.
At least Lawrence is there, isn't he? He can have some.
But they'll all be watching. They'll all be watching Wilson and all the lot from Derby. They'll be watching, so they'll know what it means. And man. And you kind of wish in a way that if you kind of hope West Brom. I know it's not going to ease the nerves, and obviously I know you'll like to do it from a selfish reason, just because you're at work, which I completely understand. You kind of want us to just confirm it and have that relief at Derby. But the good thing would be, mate, even if we got promoted tonight or tomorrow by other teams, we still have to win the league, and we can win the league at Derby. Yeah,
I mean, listen, regardless of what happens tonight, I'll say I want Huddersfield to. I want West Brom to beat Huddersfield. I want us to have the emotion of beating Derby at their place to both confirm promotion and the title, right? I was asked to do just a little clip for one of the lads. I think it's Alex, and I said, we're going to confirm promotion and the title at Pride Park with a 3-0 win against Wayne Rooney's Derby County. I went and said it, man, but that's my hope, man. Like we keep saying, like, you could not write it any better.
I'll tell you what, though, Joe. If you let's actually look at the team that's going to be sort of going up against Derby. I mean, are we going to be quite a depleted outfit? Obviously, going up to a Derby who's sort of welcoming back Waghorn. Looks like Jack Marriott. I can't stand that. Jack Marriott's name gives me shivers now. But Jack Marriott, obviously Lawrence back in the side, Sibley, Wayne Rooney. It looks like sort of a full strength Derby side that might be coming up against maybe Leeds, obviously without Helder Costa, Patrick Bamford, Calvin Phillips. What are your sort of thoughts going into the game? Obviously, we'll have our reviews, previews coming up. But what are your sort of thoughts that immediately go into it? Joe, one more thing as well. Derby having 2 more days rest.
Yeah, that's a point, isn't it? Never really thought about that, but that's worth a shout. And I'll do a little bit more digging and a little bit more graph. But I'm really disappointed that we won't see KP up against Rooney. Rooney will dictate a lot of it, I genuinely think. I'm looking forward to the matchup. I was really looking forward to seeing KP going up against him, because say what you want, he's still a world-class operator at this level. Really excited by Sibley and Bird, good players. Very good players. I do. When you say that, Costa's going to be a big loss. It did look bad. It was a bit naughty what Mowat did. On reflection, it was naughty. At the time, I was like, get up, Helder. But it looks like he's going to be out. We're missing KP. We just have to be at it. But listen, I genuinely think that this Leeds United side, they've shown such mettle since the restart. The individuals like you, Stuart Dallas, like you, Cooper. For me, Conor, and I'll be bold, they won't lose this game. I don't think they'll let themselves lose it. There is the worry that they could be 2 up for it. Maybe that can happen. I'm not a professional footballer, but maybe sometimes you can be 2 up for it. I look back at Joe Hart, that time when he's like, give me the ball. Like, you're like, fucking calm down, Joe Hart, if you remember. Do you know what I mean? Like, that spilled over for him, and he sort of nosedived from that point. But I don't know, is there the chance they could be 2 up for it? But I just think with this current setup and the individuals in the squad, they won't lose that game. They won't lose it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh God, you've just got to think, man for man. I mean, it's a team full of kids, really. Derby, obviously, they've got Waghorn coming back, Marriott, who's got experience, but where we are for it, it's such a cliche, and the amount of cliches we put out on this channel is unbelievable. But we are where we are for a reason, and Derby properly slipped out, but that they've got a decent team. They've got a decent team, but I want the lads. I want Dallas. I want Cooper. I want Ayling. I want Bamford. All of them who were there last year. Even like Shackleton who played, and was involved in it. I want us to rectify that, and I want us to go there and make them hurt. I don't want to go there and lose 2-0 or 1-0. And I cannot.
You don't want to draw the game and go up, do you?
No, you want to go there, and they really did us in, and fair play to them. They did us in at Ellen Road last year, but we've got to go there, mate. And even if we have to make some big changes, Helder Costa, Alioski was there. He'll know what it means, and to get there, even if we scrap it over the line, we need to really, really drive that stake home to them, because they caused us a lot of bother last year.
Yeah, 100%. And you think back to when like you said, they absolutely, smashed up the dressing room, etc. Them lads were in that other dressing room, hearing that, seeing the video clips of them bouncing around for fucking Lampard, the Lampard bounce or whatever, seeing them in the nightclub afterwards, and Lampard, absolutely breaking his bank to get them all drinks, forgetting that they still had a final left to play. I mean, that wouldn't have happened with Bielsa, but the way they went on, the lads seen that, and like us fans, the likes of Cooper, Dallas, Ayling, them names you mentioned, even KP in the dressing room before that game, they'll be fucking saying, this is revenge. This is our time to give it them back. And I just think that alone will drive them on. When you hear clips and they say, put this in the dressing room, stick that up on the wall. They don't need, because they were there. It's all in there. Trust me, you couldn't have wrote a better story, Conor. It's fucking amazing, man. I can't wait.
And Tom Marshall, £1.99 donation. I know Tom's donated before. Thank you once again, buddy. Everything, as we've said, goes into the channel. There's 557 of you watching. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Tom says, win at Derby and lose to Lee Bowyer's Charlton. Not for me, Tom. I think we win at Derby. I think we then win at Charlton. Win well at home. I think that's just how it's going to be. I think the momentum's going to be too good. We've won 4 on the bounce now since that Luton disappointing result. But I think, just to touch on what you were saying there, Joe, it's we look at the game at Ellen Road as well, and we just, that was an absolute mauling, and they got away with it. They brought him on in the last minute, and he bundled it home. And I still watch that, and it frustrates the life out of me, because it was Derby, and sort of they didn't get one over on us. But for them to get a point out of that game, that was so frustrating. And the same with Forest, that's sort of 2 weeks after. I don't know how they came and got a point as well. But they're not, I think when we are as good as we are, and I don't think we have been as good as we are, Joe. I know Oscar was saying that these last 2 games, but we've needed to win 2 1-0s, and we'd have to be unbelievable. But I want to go down to Derby, and I want to be unbelievable.
Yeah, you want a Stoke performance, don't you? That's what you want. A Stoke in both the games. You want Bristol City at the start of the season. You want Stoke last season. You want Derby at home in season number 1. Away, where we beat them 3-1, I think it was, Roof and Click, etc. You want, but not. I said when this restart, I was like looking at it. I did a podcast and with Lewis, and I said, that's the thought, and I've had tunnel vision with that. And if it weren't to happen, I'd be wounded. But I just think it's going to happen there, and the lads are going to put in one hell of a performance. Maybe the legs won't enable them to do so, because they're absolutely battered. You know what I mean? And like you say, Derby have got them extra days rest. But yeah, what a way to just rewrite it. It'd just be amazing, man. Yeah,
and Michael 20, no comment, but £9.99 donation. Thank you, Michael. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
We were just talking off there, Conor, and there is 720. We were saying, there's 729. I've seen this on Twitter, guys. Check it out. It's been retweeted. So There's 729 different permutations where Leeds can finish 1 point over third, and there's only one where that doesn't happen. So we've got 728 chances to finish this season at least 1 point over third and getting promoted. And there's only one.
Sorry, Joe. Are you bothered about winning the league now?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I am now.
Yeah, I want to win the league now. Yeah, I wasn't at restart, but yeah, I mean, even Leeds, 728 different permutations, and there's only one where we don't end up in the top two. I mean, come on, man.
Got a comment here from looks like a Liverpool fan. Hi lads, hope you're all well. I'm a Liverpool fan, looking forward to playing yous in the Premier League next season. You got promotion in the bag now. Good to see a big club like Leeds are back. Thank you, Mighty Red Chris Welch. Yeah, and listen, we'll probably be doing collabs with all the fan channels, won't we, in the Premier League, Joe? I know there's Redmen TV who we've met at the Football Blogging Awards, and listen. Obviously, Liverpool winning the league, Leeds winning the league, obviously, Coventry winning the league. That's what happened. And as Joe likes to say, it looks like the stars are aligning for Leeds this year. And listen, I mean, we'll talk. I think we're going to have a big debrief, aren't we, Joe, at the end of the season? Our moments of the last 17 years and some that stick out and do a proper live stream. I think we've got to do that, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully, going to do something with some championship folks as well, the likes of Benjamin Bloom, etc. Just having a chat about the last few seasons under Bielsa and what it means to, I guess, we're saying bye to the championship, aren't we? I don't plan on seeing it again, if I'm being totally honest, Conor. You know what I mean? So
I'd say I'd miss it, but I've hated this division for so long now that I mean, I don't know what I'd miss about it. It's just constant. It's constant stress. Like, I think Conor McGilligan in the Premier League is a completely different Conor McGilligan to that one in the Championship. I'm just so anxious all the time, and I have been for since Bielsa's got here. Really, I've not been able to enjoy it, which annoys me about myself. I can't enjoy it because I'm so anxious about going up, and that for me is the number one. So when we get up to the Premier League, touch wood, I'm going to sit back and just enjoy the ride and have a completely different outlook to one that I've had this season. Obviously, I know you're a bit different, Joe, but I think for me, just getting up to the Premier League was the number one outcome for me in however many years it's been now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've enjoyed it, mate, and the reason being is just because of the football. Being able to enjoy it as opposed to what we've seen, the dross that's come before. But I seen something on Twitter and people were sharing how long it's been. And when we were relegated, I was 16, mate. I was 16 and I was living with my mum, not a care in the world, not long left school. Thought we'd be back, within, a season, a couple of seasons. We're now on the cusp of going back and I'm 32. I've got my own place and I've got 3 kids of my own. So that shows you just like how long it's been, like how much has changed.
Yeah.
I'm double. Do you know what I mean? I've doubled in age. I've lost my hair. I've got 3 kids. One of them's turning 9 tomorrow. You know what I mean? I've got my own place, and it's insane. No one thought.
No, when you think of it like that, man, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, man.
When it was 2004, was it when we went down?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I think I'll have been 2004. I'd have been 11. So I'd have been 11. So yeah, I mean, like you say, my entire teenage years were miserable. And it's only been the last 2 years, mate. Obviously, 26 now. It's only been the last 2 years that I've ever had any joy. My entire teenage years was just miserable. Apart from that, obviously the League One promotion where we nearly bottled that, didn't we? That League One, but it just shows how I even think, when we're going to that last game, against Bristol Rovers, I just think this is just a completely different mentality as well, because we've won away at Swansea, we've won at home to Stoke. We've done all these things where it's been incredible, and it's a different league, it's a different mentality. And even as recently as League One, where we nearly bottled it, we're not bottling this, we're steamrolling it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on there. Wait there. Sorry to do this. Where the fuck's that gone? I don't know if I've paused. Just give me 1 sec there.
Right, what I will do.
Oh,
what's up?
I've just seen there. Boris Johnson has says fans could be back in stadiums as early as October.
Wow.
Wow. That's why I had to just. I just popped up there. Which I'm like, wait there. Everyone's tweeting about it now. That's breaking news for you guys that Boris Johnson has said as early as October. I mean, that's mad. If you think about the transfer window as well, it was funny seeing them give us the Premier League transfer window dates, and I was like, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah.
July till October. When season about to restart, we could be back come restart, mate. Do you know? Is it September they're on about restarting the football season? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they said they've extended the transfer window, haven't they? They've extended
October,
early mid-October. So I think you're probably looking at probably 4 or 5 weeks, aren't you? You'll start again. But Michael as well, another sticker. Thank you again, Michael. £9.99 again. Who will be the first out the door? I.e., will there be many to leave? I don't think so, mate. Personally, I think the club now is going in the right direction, and there's been too many players here for too long who deserve it. They deserve their shot, and I think we'll bring in some quality heads, and our recruitment will be good. And we've got money behind us. We all know we've got money behind us. It's just going to happen when the Premier. That's why the club is desperate to get to the Premier League, because for me the investment starts then, and that's why we're different to a Norwich who spent nothing when they came to the Premier League. And obviously, I don't think we're going to be like a Villa and a Fulham, because you've got the head coach who's the most important person at the club. Yeah,
100%. Sorry, I'm just going. I'm somewhere else at this moment in time. Just to give you this news, guys. So Boris has said fans could be able to return to the stadium in the UK from October. Pilots will take place from the 1st of August. But any stadium reopenings will be subject to coronavirus guidelines. Some sports, including football and cricket, have resumed behind closed doors. We will pilot larger gatherings in venues like sports stadiums with a view to a wider reopening in the autumn. From October, we intend to bring back audiences in stadiums. More to follow. So watch this space. One of my main. I want that curtain raiser at Ellen Road back in the Premier League, us all back together, and maybe that could happen. Because that's been one of. I've really tried to put it to the back of my mind, and hopefully on Sunday, we'll come together. But I've really tried to put it back to my mind that we've not been able to bask in this properly. Because can you imagine Stoke at home being in the ground, bro? Last night the nerves just getting. Yeah, exactly. Even last night, getting through that game, being able to just fall on the floor with you. Yes, we've done it, embracing. It's so harsh that has been taken away from us,
Yeah, it has, man. It's been the biggest difficulty for all of us, I think. But I think obviously the stress had been through the roof. But you drive your team on, don't you? And that's where it's been a bitter blow, mate. But we'd all have it, wouldn't we, if it meant us going to the Premier League? Is that you having to pack up there, Joseph?
I'm just quickly getting my work stuff ready. I'm not at school or all, guys. I'm just getting my work kit ready.
Yeah.
I start working in 10 minutes. I'm going to be late, but it's all right. Fuck it. Leeds are going to the Premier League. They can fuck it off.
They're taking the watch along off you tonight as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, unless of course then I'm bailing, or I might join the stream, but I'll be at work, so I'll just have to sit there with you.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I think Oscar's working late as well, so we'll have to see. But we'll as I said, we'll try our best to get something out there.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, mate, for doing this, and thanks everyone for watching. As per, make sure you go back and check the watch along for our reactions. There's also at the end of the watch along, guys. There's a bit of a post match review in that as well, where we've had a nice long chat. It actually went for 3 hours. So if you want some of that instant match reactions, go back and watch the watch along. It's well worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, once again, some tremendous support again this morning. 588 of you watching. Insane. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and we will see you in a bit.
Peace.
Peace.